My second upload today is with regard to identity and everyone's unique and personal experiences that are individual experiences to each and every person on the planet. There aren't ever any two persons the same, there aren't ever two experiences the same. And in the circumstances that I'm experiencing, there is a little issue of a collective and individuals having what I would consider an issue with their own identities. As I've mentioned, since a young age, I've always had a purpose, I've always had a spiritual interest in the world and humanity, and always had a very inquisitive mind about many aspects of faith and society and spirituality and such. So anyway, the purpose of my upload this on this occasion is with regard to my personal spiritual identity, my identity as universal light worker, my identity as a recovery advocate and humanitarian, that are all interconnected and all interrelated. Now, the matters I'm going to briefly discuss regard issues that have caused consternation with regard to what I consider parasites and pests in society intruding upon my spiritual purpose that I have utilized for proper intents and purposes, objectives, etc., without using it for monetary gain, as have the guilty culprits of very dangerous offences against the state that are of repeat offences have used from my light body and my spiritual purpose. So there are many aspects to my spiritual purpose. I'm a universal light worker, and I've worked in a humanitarian capacity helping save other people's experiences from harm and danger. So there have been individuals in this community that have caused very dangerous human rights abuses and spiritual violence. They have disrespected many faiths, and they have intended on intruding and imposing without shame or remorse or embarrassment with regard to their offences of what they have said, done and publicised in the past 3 years. They are not a part of my spiritual purpose. They are not a part of my spiritual identity. They are not welcome in my spiritual experience, and they are not spiritually qualified to be discussing anything of harmonizing or harmony or anything of the such. So the individuals that are of a construct that does not support or is not supported by frauds that are of human rights abuses and dangers, harms and losses caused to my child and I are not synchronizing or harmonizing with a greater purpose that they are not welcome in and that they are not a part of. So my work that has been a part of a greater good, that has been common knowledge since 2019, after the great work that commenced in 2018, and that is based on the foundations of proper, solid, good foundations of spiritual work and studies as a sentient being since before and after 2006. The principles that the frauds in this community, collective and county, have the offences that they've caused are absolutely outrageous. They've damaged bodily integrity, they've damaged principles, they are of slander, and they are not spiritually let's say they are not of good etiquette, they are not of good practice, and they are of a delusion and a distortion that they have publicised in an egotistical and narcissistic and exploitative manner. The practices that I've noticed of them have been absolutely abhorrent, disgusting, and the publicity has absolutely been farcical. The objectives of their purpose is egotistical. They have not done good to society. They have caused disruption to society. They've damaged families, and they've harmed wildlife and nature. They have caused repeat offences against a woman that they have no right discussing. They had no right intruding upon me. They do not know me. They violated a spiritual purpose, and they publicised shamelessly since 2017 matters that they should not have ever been discussing. So they have not just been blasphemous and treasonous and slanderous, they have been embarrassing to all spiritual principles that they have tried to impose upon as newbies and rookies and as wannabes, as I consider them and call them. They are not authentic. They are not in any way authentic with artificial progress that they have attained or acquired, and they have not respected justice. They have most certainly not respected justice, and they certainly have not paid their dues for damages, harms and losses, and they have not reformed, and they have not been of reparations. So they have caused a false construct in society. They are of a falsehood and a fallacy, and they have been harmful to spiritual identity and purpose of this person, Maria McElligott, a universal light worker. So the individuals that have been of spiritual violence in this community since I gave birth are also of very dangerous offences of identity theft, creative theft and intellectual theft since 2006. So this entire situation is really repulsive. It's pathetic. They have obstructed justice. They have perverted justice. They have publicised and monopolised in an industry where they haven't been very professional or respectful or courteous. So the criticism today is with regard to the frauds that have imposed upon Maria McElligott here in this upload, and that are of a disharmony, and they have not evolved or synchronized with positive growth or progress in society. They have embarrassingly intruded upon a person they have no right to discuss. So I hope, for the interest of the Department of Justice, that sacred royalty of Maria McElligott and my child that I gave birth to, that was also subject to spiritual violence while unlawfully withheld from me, I would hope the European Court of Human Rights, as well as the Department of Justice, address, acknowledge and assist with regard to these liabilities in society, trying to attain and acquire from an authentic sacred royal that they are not welcome intruding upon, and that they are not lawfully within any right to be in the proximity of, due to their offences as of 2006. So this little upload is just with regard to spiritual purpose, the good that becomes of spiritual purpose when it's veiled of properly and respectfully and consciously, and when individuals then decide to monopolise egotistically, selfishly, for monetary gain and for ill purposes and intents, how things don't always work according to plan. So unfortunately, those that have disrespected my spiritual purpose and that have been of human rights abuses against my son and I, it's all very serious, really, what's happened in Tralee, County Kerry. So those in the wrong traffic lane, and those not reading the signs right, might have a look at basic black and white laws and script to learn exactly where they're right and wrong and where they have no remit. So as I've mentioned in my previous uploads, there's a few very important laws that protect me from these very, very liable culprits of very dangerous repeat offences. And I would appreciate the European Court of Human Rights acknowledging the very serious issues that these liabilities are causing in society. And regarding church and state, I hope the church is aware of the issue of sacred royal in this situation. Maria McElligott and my son Gareth McElligott having been violated and disrespected so shamelessly. So those intruding upon my experience and my privacy and my personal life and property are not legally within any right or remit, and they are not harmonising to a greater purpose with their fraudulence and human rights abuses and deaths and damages and harms and losses caused to my child and I.